How can I assemble an H90 Nova Pro Scala quickly using a minimal number of tools? Today, I will be showing you how to assemble the H90 Nova Pro Scala quickly and easily using a minimal number of tools and this handy drawer clamp. Let's get started. First of all, you need to cut the bottom panel and back panel to size. I already did this earlier, so the bottom and back panels are ready to go. For step 1, then, you need to take the drawer clamp and caliper the width of the drawer bottom. Proceed as follows. In order to easily adjust the drawer clamp to the width of the drawer bottom, simply remove this little pin here and push the jaws together to grip the panel, then turn the handle to tighten or loosen the drawer clamp until you can see a hole. Put the pin back in this hole and you're all set. So that's the first step, adjusting the drawer clamp to the size of the drawer, done and dusted. That's step 1 out of the way. Let's move on to the next step, attaching the sides of the drawer to the left and right of the bottom panel the correct way round. That's correct, each drawer has a right side and a left side. Here in the back panel clip, which is already integrated, by which I mean it's welded to the drawer side, you can see a small letter R4 right or L4 left. This means that when looking at the cabinet from the front, we have the right side on the right and the left side on the left. So the drawer would look like this, if you see what I mean. And now here's my top tip for you. I always swap the sides around, so the right side goes on the left like so and vice versa. And now I can easily slot the bottom panel into the two sides like this. I can now stand the drawer upright, take hold of it with my hands and then fold the drawer sides outwards like this. Then I can place the drawer on my workbench on my table. So, since we prepared the drawer clamp earlier, it fits perfectly here in the installation space, that is, in the frame of the drawer itself. Now I can easily tighten the entire assembly slightly, but there's another important point to consider. We've got the bottom panel and then this edge here. I'll stand the drawer up for you like this, so you can see it better. So we've got this edge here, a kind of lip, if you like, and then the bottom panel. And now you can see there is a small indent here that shouldn't actually be there. That means I need to make the drawer bottom perfectly flush with this plane here by pushing or pulling the bottom panel forward slightly so that this area is all perfectly aligned. That's the most important thing to get right in the entire drawer assembly process. And here I can give myself a helping hand again by simply taking the back panel, which I'll need soon anyway, and placing it against the side for now. You can see there's a small gap here because the bottom panel sticks out. Now, I can either push the drawer side forwards or the bottom panel backwards and align everything perfectly so there isn't a gap at the side and then there won't be a gap between the front and bottom later on. You will need to do this on both sides, pushing all of the parts together perfectly to make sure that everything is ready for the next step. For the next step, we need to use our impact tool to hold everything in place, that is, to attach the bottom panel to the sides. We could screw the whole thing together, but I much prefer to use claw fasteners, as they're a lot quicker and the stability they offer is perfectly sufficient. What's more, if there are slight differences in the thickness of the materials, claw fasteners can help to even out the drawer side, or the inside of the entire assembly, as when we apply pressure by driving the claw fastener down into the underside of the bottom panel towards the inside of the drawer, it can bring everything together perfectly. Here's what you need to do. Take your hammer and your impact tool. Go directly here. Check everything again to make sure that it is perfectly flush at the front, then simply hammer the claw fastener in like so. Now do the same on the other side, making some minor adjustments again as needed. Now it's perfectly flush and we can drive all the claws fasteners on the sides in too. We just need to drive in the last two claw fasteners and now the assembly is joined to the sides of the drawer. The next step now is to attach the back panel. And, fortunately for us, the back panel clip comes already mounted or welded on the drawer side. so you don't need to worry about ordering it in time or making sure you always have the correct side to hand. The Nova Pro Scala takes care of all that for you. There are now different things we can do. In our case, we're going to use a wooden back panel, and so we need the hole in the middle. The top hole is for attaching plastic anchors, and if you were using those you'd need to pre-drill the wooden back panel. That would be more suitable for pressing. We're going to use standard chipboard screws slotted into the middle holes and then assemble the whole thing accordingly. Place the back panel in here. There's a little bit of tension here. This is good, as it means there won't be any gaps when we screw everything together. So, we can now proceed with the next step, which is using a centering drill to pre-drill all the holes on both sides. And now here I have another little tip for you. Make sure that you drill from outside to inside, approaching it from a slight angle. You should be able to see the angle here. This means I'm not drilling in a straight line, but at a slight angle, from outside to inside. Push the back panel towards the back panel clip and the drawer side against the back panel. Now you can pre-drill in the middle hole. Do this on both sides, using the middle hole, taking care to drill at an angle, and from outside to inside. Now I can put the whole drawer together using just 2 screws. Let's see what happens now. I'll hold it like this and we'll zoom in with the camera so you can get a better view of what's going on. Let's screw this in. So, what's happening here? There's still a small gap because there's still a bit of tension. By pre-drilling at an angle, I have predetermined the path for the screw to take, so to speak. So now I can screw it in easily, and you will see that the gap closes automatically, which is exactly what we want. Needless to say, we need to do this on the left side as well. And with that, the drawer is now fully assembled. We've used a Nova Pro Scala cabinet with an external width of 600 mm in this example. If you're using wider drawers, then I'd recommend adding a back panel screw as well. This can be screwed into the center of the panel, or also on the left or right. The drawer is now fully assembled, as much as it can be, so we can now insert it into the cabinet. Let's just make a bit more space here, and then we can put the drawer inside of the cabinet like so. Simply place it on the slides and then push it all the way back, pressing in the middle. As you just heard, it makes a nice clicking sound. Simply open and close it like so. If the drawer slides smoothly and fully into the cabinet like it does here, you know it's been perfectly assembled. In the previous steps, we have put the drawer together and it is now finished. The next step for us is to attach the front, and to do this we will be using a small tool called a marking jig. The points on these marking jigs are very sharp. What these do, essentially, is transfer the position of the front hook, which we will now attach to the front, to the exact location where everything ultimately engages, meaning that the drawer will also sit perfectly flush at the top. Of course, all the measurements for where to drill the holes and insert the screws can be found in the installation instructions. I just want to show you now how incredibly quick and easy the whole process is. Put the marking jig in the space on the drawer side like so, and then do this on the other side too. To make it easier to align the front now, I've got a helpful tip for you. I've prepared a small spacer strip, which I can simply place in front of the cabinet to help make sure that the front is perfectly aligned. You can see it's completely flush here. The front is 4 mm narrower than the cabinet, so there's a 2 mm gap on the left and right. I can simply align it by eye. 2 mm here, and 2 mm there. It feels the same on both sides. And now I can place the front against the marking jigs and give it a firm tap in the middle with the flat of my hand. And just like that, the positions for screwing on the front hooks have been transferred from the marking jig to the front of the drawer. If you look here, you can see these small markings now, which we can make slightly more apparent for ourselves by using a center punch. Or an automatic center punch. This is absolutely my favorite tool, because we can simply position the tool here in the hole and press it down, like so. This not only makes the holes easier to see, but also eliminates the need for pre-drilling. Do this on both sides. Whether you insert screws into all 3 holes or just 2 of them is entirely up to you. 2 fastening points are more than enough. And the good thing here is you can see we have 3 fastening points in total, the same as on the front hook. This can be clearly seen. And these 2 holes being closer together makes it immediately really easy to see which way round the front hook goes. You can't turn the hook upside down, because the holes need to be parallel to the marks, or at the same height in order for the screws to be screwed in, which I will do now. And if I had prepared some screws earlier, I could show you. There we go, found them. And now you can screw the front hook straight on. We can check once again to make sure that the front hook is straight and parallel, so that it's not attached at some sort of angle. I'm going to use the outer holes, that is, the top one and the bottom one. And now we can get straight on with mounting the front. Take the spacer strip away and remove the marking jigs from both sides. And now we can attach the front to the drawer. To do this, open the drawer slightly and insert the front hook here into the bottom of the drawer side. Do this on both sides. Then close the drawer. You can now lean the front directly against the cabinet and press down on the center of the front. As you just heard, it should click nicely into place. Now check the gaps on either side to make sure there's 2 mm on the right and left, and check the top. And there's a little indent here, so the front needs to be moved to the right slightly. You can find out how to do this in another video, which shows how to adjust the sides and the height. The front is just as easy to remove as it is to attach in the first place. To demonstrate this more effectively, I'll show you using this small hand model here. There is a small lever here at the bottom of the drawer side, which can be pushed backwards. And if you push the whole thing backwards, then you can easily remove the front by lifting it upwards. Similarly, I can reinsert the hooks, or the hook, of the front, latch it in at the top and then press the front downwards. This makes it just as easy to reassemble the whole thing. On the original model, the process looks like this. Open the drawer fully as far as it will go, then push the 2 hooks backwards and remove the front by lifting it upwards. It really is this easy to assemble the drawer and attach and remove the front. As I've already mentioned, the videos below will show you how to make any adjustments. If you have any questions about this or any other product, please write them in the comments below. I hope that you have fun with your project,